I listen up, man, because I'm about to clear the air. Without a creative outlet, the practice of semen retention is absolutely useless. Yes, sir. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up. Without a creative outlet, the practice and the path of semen retention is absolutely useless. You might be wondering, okay, man, you talk about semen retention and celibacy all the fucking time on your channels. You talk about how great it is, how many benefits you get mentally, physically, and spiritually. Now you're telling me that it's useless without a creative outlet? What the fuck does that even mean? Well, relax, my guy. Because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. Now, just to start things off, this is something that I've been saying this entire time I've been up on here on these platforms, on YouTube, talking about semen retention. Without a creative outlet, this path and this practice is damn near useless. If you're just practicing semen retention and celibacy to hit a certain amount of days, to just quit porn, to stop chasing women, that's only one part of it. That's only half of the battle, if you want to call it that. That's like going from a negative bank account back to zero. Was that your entire goal, your entire financial goal in life? To go from a negative bank account to zero? Fuck no. Come on now. The whole goal was to become financially free, if that makes sense. And the whole goal was to become free from lust in order for you to leverage your libido towards your advantage. And what is libido? People will probably say your sexual drive. What is sexual drive? The amount of sexual energy that you have built up. What is sexual energy? Creative energy. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? Come on now. Come on now. This is why I'm saying, without a creative outlet to actually funnel this creative energy, this practice of celibacy and semen retention is useless. You're not actually using this energy for what it's meant to do, create. Yes, it has the ability to create another human being when you actually go into union with a female. But if you ain't ready to bring about another human being, you ain't ready to bring about a baby into your life, that same energy still's got to be used for a source of creation. This is the whole premise of what Einstein said, that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only be transferred from one form to another. Creative energy can either be transformed from the reproductive organs or the spiritual sources and centers of regeneration. Creativity and imagination is the highest act of the spiritual being. And what do I mean by that? So if you grew up religious, maybe you read a little bit of the Bible, there's a saying that man is made in the image of God. What is God in that sense? There's many forms of God. There's many definitions of God. All in all, God is all is one, one is all. But in this scenario, in this case, God means the creator. If man is made in the image of God, the creator, what does that make you? Please, put two and two together. Do not be dyslexic. Do not let this brain rot from all these social medias cook your fucking last brain cells that you got left. It means that you are a creator too, motherfucker. Come on. Man, like I said before on another video on this channel, is built to be an alchemist and alchemize their vision, their God-given vision, their dharma, their divine duty out onto the physical plane through their God-given gifts, through their skills, through their talents, through their overall capabilities. When you actually are practicing retention and you're on the path of celibacy, harnessing that energy and properly redirecting it from your reproductive organs up into your higher faculties, up into your higher states of consciousness, it needs an outlet to be fully expressed. When it gets pulled down to the reproductive organs, guess what? It has an outlet to be expressed through release. Same thing applies up top. How does it get released from your higher faculties? Through imagination, through creativity. And it could be in many different shapes and forms. It could be through music, it could be through art, it could be through business, it could be through whatever you want, your career path. A creative outlet is an absolutely necessary part of this practice of semen retention. If you actually want to see the benefits, if you just want to be a fucking loser and talk about how many days that you have, oh, I'm on this many days, that many days, but there hasn't been a real impact, a real tangible shift in your life, mentally, physically, or spiritually, then by all means, go do that. But for the people I'm talking to right now that actually want to use this power, use this practice for what it's actually meant to do, that these ancient mystics, these monks, these sages, this occult wisdom has imparted to us, you need that creative outlet. You need a source to actually funnel this energy towards. For the people that are thinking about, okay, man, well, I meditate, I work out, isn't that enough? Absolutely not. Like I've talked about within my ebook, the free auto retention ebook, if you haven't checked that out yet, man, I don't know what you're doing, bro. You're missing out on a lot of game, a lot of sauce for the free 99. Go check out the main channel. Or matter of fact, just type in how to succeed on semen retention on YouTube. Click search. You'll find the main channel, Fulati Fitness. There's a full guide on how to succeed on semen retention, along with the link to find the ebook. And again, if you're dyslexic, if you're retarded, you're suffering from brain rot, there's a whole audio series on the main channel for going through each chapter of the auto retention ebook. So you can pop it in while you're walking, pop it in while you're driving, pop it in while you're doing whatever. Get up on some game so you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame. Are you digging what I'm saying? Come on, man. I'm spending bars out here. But again, if you have not checked that stuff out yet, what I mentioned in the book itself is you need 3 outlets. 3 outlets, 3 funnels, 3 expressions of this energy. You need a mental, a physical, and a spiritual. The mental, to me, is your meditative practices. If you're not doing some form of meditation, I don't care what form of meditation it is. It could be through Trataka, where you're gazing at a candle, sun gazing. It could be through pranayama, aka breath work. It could be through mantra chanting. Whatever it is, prayer, even if you want to make that your source of meditation, you need a mental outlet. The second one, you need a physical outlet. Of course, exercise, whether that's martial arts, whether that's playing basketball, whether that's weightlifting, whether that's whatever it is, you need a physical outlet. But the third one that people usually, 9 times out of 10, forget, and 9 times out of 10 causes their struggles on this path, is that spiritual outlet. That's the creative outlet. You need to be infusing this energy into a creative pursuit. It could be through innovating a new software. Steve Jobs, a well-known practitioner of celibacy and semen retention, guess what he was funneling into? Creating Apple. Nikola Tesla, a lifelong celibate, guess what he was funneling into? All the projects, all the ideas, all the innovations that he made. Isaac Newton, lifelong celibate, guess what he was transferring into? His scientific uncoverings and the overall aspects of Newton's laws and all that shit. You see what I'm saying? Musicians, artists, athletes, all use this energy, the libido, the creative force of your goddamn gonads, aka your dick and balls, for a creative pursuit, because that's what it's meant to do. Create. And that's what you're meant to do as a man who is built to be an alchemist. You have an inner vision about creating something in the world that's not given to you by the external world. It's given to you through a direct source of knowledge, divine knowledge, called gnosis. Nobody knows that vision that you have. Nobody knows your purpose. Nobody knows your path in life. That divine knowledge uncovers your dharma, your divine duty, your divine path in life, what you were really brought here to do. And it all stems from some source of creation. You were not brought here just to live out the same life as everybody else. You were brought here to pave out your own pathway to true spiritual fulfillment, to true spiritual liberation through the physical work that you do. That ties in the mind, body, and soul. And when you're practicing retention, it is the solvent that actually connects the mind to the body and connects the body to the soul and everything all together. Because I've said this before, the practice of semen retention and celibacy is so powerful because it is the one thing that I've ever practiced or experienced that connects to the mind, body, and soul, all together, all encompassed into one. When you do your spiritual practices, yes, it has something to do with the body and mind, but it's mainly towards the spirit. When you're doing your physical exercises, it's mainly just for the body, but also, yeah, the mind, spirit, if you want to call it that. When you're doing your mental activities, such as reading this and that, yes, it's still influencing your body and spirit, but it's mainly for the mind. When you practice retention, it is taking all branches and solving them into one. It's taking the mind, body, and soul and turning it into the self. And what is the self meant to do? Meant to shine its light, just like the fucking sun. What are those rays of light that you emanate? Yeah, it's your aura, if you want to call it that, but it's also the impact that you leave on the world. The sun is leaving an impact on me, and goddamn right now it's cold a little bit. I live in California, so anything below 70 to me is cold. That shit feels good. That is what the self is meant to do. It's emanate its dharma, its duty, its creative purpose, so the world can also experience that as well. So it can also be elevated. So the conscious level of humanity can evolve. Your creative pursuit when you're on semen retention celibacy is much deeper than just yourself. You're not just drawing to draw for yourself. You're not just making content just to make content for yourself. You're not just having these fucking cops after your ass just for yourself. Look, man, if you've been tapped in, you already know when we start dropping game out here in the field, in the flesh, the cops, the feds start rolling up, but we're still good to go. What I was saying is, it isn't just for yourself, this creative pursuit. Think about it like this. God, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, has gifted you certain talents, traits, skills, as well as a specific connection to a certain dharma, certain purpose for you to create. If you're just hoarding all that for yourself, if you're not actually achieving your highest potential, that's the most selfish shit that you can possibly do. Because your work, your creative pursuit can actually be the spark that ignites somebody else's spirit in order for them to follow their path, their purpose, their overall dharma. Maybe the stuff that we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community. Shout out to the fucking private Patreon community, man. Look, bro, I'm telling you, just look. If you have not joined up into the private Patreon community yet, you are doing yourself a huge fucking disfavor. Not me, yourself. Because within there, man, if you're interested into deeper topics, into deeper subjects on mastering the mind, body, and soul, uncovering the esoteric science of self-mastery, then this is the place for you. Because we got exclusive videos just about those topics, just about those subjects that you ain't gonna find here on this channel, on the main channel, or anywhere else, matter of fact, on YouTube. This is some real deal game, real deal sauce that you ain't gonna find anywhere else but there. But also, you'll get access to our full guides talking about how to start fasting, how to use psychedelics for spiritual and psychological growth, how to actually break free from the NPC mindset, all those full guides, as well as our in-depth occult lectures, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you get access to our private group chat, as well as our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. So where we're doing 2 live calls each and every single month, bi-weekly. We hop on a call with me, as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on this path of discovering their Dharma, who are also on this path of self-mastery, who are also on this path of infusing and funneling their creative essence, their creative energy from practicing semen retention into their true purpose in life. If you want to be surrounded with people just like that, who are also on this path of ascension, who actually want to see you elevate mentally, physically, and spiritually, I'm telling you, man, this is the spot to be at. If you want to go get all the information about that, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video. Because within the pinned comment of this video, you'll also see our other services and our other links, whether that be the application forms from our personalized coaching program, our one-on-one consultation calls, weekly newsletters, free community Discord server, all that good stuff. Again, posted in the pinned comment of this video. Run it up, man. But what I was saying, the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, on the main channel, the private Patreon community, with the people I'm working with one-on-one, people who are hopping onto consultation calls with me, this information might be that spark for you. It might have been that catalyst, that Kickstarter for you to actually take your life seriously on this whole journey of self-mastery, on this whole journey of using semen retention and celibacy as the tools to be able to help you uncover your own Dharma and also give you the energy, the mental clarity, and the spiritual connection needed to actually funnel your way into your true highest version, allowing you to actually express your purpose and actually create the vision that you were brought here to do. The whole concept of this practice is not about how many days you can get to. It's not about how long you can retain your seed. It's about what you're using your libido for now. You're not letting lust drain away your life force energy. You're actually retaining it, harnessing it, transmuting it, and putting life into your vision, and putting life into your purpose, and putting life into the creative pursuit that you, only you, were brought here to actually accomplish. Without that, man, it's useless. Who gives a fuck how much you're meditating? Who gives a fuck how much you're working out? Who gives a fuck how many days you're on semen retention? If you're not actually using this energy for an actual creative purpose, it's like still going from that negative bank account to zero, and then you're just hovering at zero. You make a little bit of money, come back down to zero. A little bit of money, come back down to zero. If you want to get to 1 million, this is where you funnel this energy. This is where you invest this energy into, and it comes back tenfold, hundredfold, millionfold. The mental and physical outlets, in my opinion, are just priming you for you to be ready to take pursuit and take action for your spiritual pursuit. The physical vitality that you get from retaining your seed and actually funneling it into a physical exercise pursuit just gets you locked in, ready to go to actually manifest your spiritual creative capabilities. The mental clarity that you get from your meditative practices while you're practicing semen retention and transcending beyond your lower level states of consciousness and abiding in your higher faculties just gets you primed and ready to connect to your spiritual senses, connect to your phone line to God, the higher self, whatever you want to call it, to figure out what your Dharma is and then actually put it into motion. All these things lead up to the spiritual pursuit or the spiritual outlets. That's why you might not be seeing the full benefits. You might be saying, bro, how the fuck is this guy 4 years onto celibacy and he doesn't care about these urges and this and that? He's transcended beyond that. It's not because I chopped off my dick and balls. No, man, they're still hanging there. Trust me, they're still hanging there. I still am very attracted to women, all that stuff, man. It's the reason I funneled this energy into a creative pursuit, building this brand, building this message. And you can do the same thing too in your own way, in your own lane, when it comes to your music, comes to your art, when it comes to your career path. You are using only a 2/3 of what this energy can possibly do if you only allow it to be transmuted in the physical and mental realms of reality. You need to be able to tap into the spiritual to get the full spectrum, to get the full shebang. Are you digging what I'm saying? Let that sink in, let that marinate in your mind. What is the reason you're practicing retention? Is it just to get from your lower states, addicted to pornography, addicted to chasing women, addicted to being under that hypnotic spell of lust, on over to just being normal, flatline, regular, baseline? or you want to be able to hit Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. That's where the creative outlet comes into play. You ain't gonna hit Super Saiyan without that creative outlet. I'll let you know that. You might just be able to hit baseline, which is totally fine. But I'm talking to the people who are really on this path of self-mastery, who truly want to ascend to see their highest potential in life. The people that watch this channel, I've said this before, this channel in specific, you guys are more spiritually and psychologically mature than the masses, than the people that watch maybe just the main channel. Am I saying you're better than anybody? Absolutely not. Am I saying you're a chosen one? Absolutely fucking not. Maybe it's due to past lives. Maybe it was due to karmas that you've had beforehand that allowed you to be incarnated into this form where you have more spiritual and psychological maturation from the jump. Use that. That's a skill. That's a trait. That's a gift from God for you to use towards your advantage and eventually towards the advantage and ascension of the human collective consciousness's evolution. You can't just sit here and think about all I'm saying that, man, dude, this is the truth, man. Oh, yeah. Mentally masturbating to it and not actually putting it into motion. If you're on this practice of semen retention and celibacy and want to see the true, full aspects, true, full spectrum of how powerful it is, and you're not applying it into a spiritual outlet, a creative outlet, you're just cucking yourself. You are literally cucking yourself, spiritually speaking. You're only seeing a little bit of the potential that you can actually tap into with this practice. Just a little bit, 2/3. It's like playing a video game and you like, it's so good, the video game, but then you're like, okay, man, I don't want to finish it. No, bro, get to the 100%. Tap into the full scope. And you're not going to be able to do that just through a mental and physical outlet. You need that creative outlet. You need to nourish and feed the soul with the food, with the actual minerals, vitamins, whatever you want to call it, that actually satisfies your spirit, that actually fulfills your soul. It ain't gonna be found in the mental and physical, because guess what? The soul, yes, it is still a part of the mental and physical. It abides in the spiritual realms of reality. And what abides in the spiritual realms of reality? Creativity. Taking nothing and turning into something. That's what the spiritual realms of reality do. Taking vibrations, frequencies, all that stuff, thoughts that enter the mind. The mind materializes them, marinates upon them, infuse it into the body, and the body manifests them out into the physical form. It starts all the way up top of the spirit, though. If you ain't connecting up to that, you ain't really looking towards a true spiritual creative pursuit, how is it going to actually flow all throughout the entire system? Tell me. Tell me, bro. Because what I'm saying is something that needs to be heard by all you men who are on this practice of semen retention. We're also traversing on this journey of self-mastery to attain self-realization. When you realize your dharma, your duty, your creative purpose, you are flowing in alignment with what life has to offer you. You're not going against the stream, you're flowing with the current. And life just becomes blissful, beautiful at that point. That's why you don't have any feelings of being restrained. Oh, I have these urges, I have this and that, because now you are literally transmuting that energy to its highest pinnacle point, to its apex. You're sending it to its apex because now you're using it for what it's meant to do, but at the highest point, creating. You're tapping into the universal mind. You're tapping into divine knowledge. You're tapping into gnosis, my boy. Gnosis. And again, all this stuff is talked about within the ebook. If you have not watched the full guide on the main channel, make sure you go run it up after this. Make sure you go get the free copy of the Art of Attention ebook. Make sure you go listen to the audio series if you have not already. And if you need any more guidance, any more help, any more understanding of discovering your dharma, by actually first, like, this is what you need to do. Make it very simplified. You need to detox from degeneracy in order for you to discover your Dharma. Once you find your Dharma, you put it into play, you put it into motion, you put it into the game. That's the way it goes. Detox from degeneracy, discover your Dharma, put it into play. A lot of people are just stuck in the fact that they just need to be detoxing from degeneracy. That's it, that's it, that's it. No, man, you're doing it for a reason. What's the reason? Discover your Dharma. If you just want to get to baseline from the negative bank account, that's not your only goal in life. To go beyond that, you need to get to baseline first, of course, yes. Stop being addicted to porn. Stop being addicted to chasing women by renouncing the attachments. That's phase 1. Phase 2, discover that Dharma. Find out what is your real reason. What is the real purpose you were brought here for? Realize, self-realize. And then put it into play, put it into motion. And live a life that leads you to liberation, that leads you to fulfillment. If you're having trouble in each one of these phases, go check out the ebook. Go check out the full guide. And if you need further guidance, tap in with your boy. Hop into these bi-weekly mastermind live calls with the inner circle. Be around a community of men who are also on the same path as you. So you don't feel like an outcast. So you feel like you have some support system around you to continue elevating. Book a consultation call, man. I'm here to help the men who are truly trying to ascend. God damn. Apply for my one-on-one coaching program, man. If you really want real deal, firsthand guidance from me, myself, you have all the resources, you have all the tools laid out for you. All that's left for you is to put it into play. And the first step is realizing that semen retention is fucking useless. Celibacy is fucking useless unless you actually are using it to ascend spiritually. It ain't enough just to quit porn. It ain't enough just to quit chasing women. What do you do with it now? You learn how to replace your addictions, like I've said before on a video on this channel. There's no way you can quit an addiction. There's no way you can quit porn. There's no way you can quit chasing women. You need to replace that addiction. You need to replace the outlet where that energy was going. It was first going to pornography because it was being redirected to reproductive organs and finding a way to be expressed in that state of existence. When you redirect it by retaining it and transmuting it through pranayama, through these meditative practices, through the whole art of self-mastery, it still needs to be expressed from your higher perspective, and that is where creativity comes into play. Very simple, very simple. For the people that are like, oh man, I'm meditating enough, I'm working out like crazy, and I still feel these urges, I still feel lust, I still feel like my consciousness is operating in its lower states, is because you're still not giving it the real outlet that it actually needs to ascend. And that is only going to be emanating from the spirit, and that only connects to creativity. All the greatest men who ever walked this earth that practiced the art of celibacy and the art of retention had that creative outlet. You too are no different. You ain't special, you ain't the chosen one that doesn't need it. Have the physical, yes. Have the mental outlet, yes. But now add on top of it the creative. We need more conscious men creating regardless. We need more consciously operated music. We need more consciously inspired art. We need more consciously connected content. We need it. We're living in what the Vedics call the Kali Yuga, the dark age where carnality is all-time high and spirituality is at an all-time low. Guess what is the most popular type of music? What's the most popular type of creative music? Talking about carnality, bullshit, your lower senses. What's the highest form of art right now in the popular scene of what we're living in right now? All the bullshit that's gonna, again, pull you down to your lower senses. What type of content is YouTube pushing out? Not this, obviously. This is underground, this is niche, this is for the people who really out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping game and actually trying to ascend on all motherfucking planes. What do you see? Fucking streamers, these alpha guys talking about talking to promiscuous girls on their podcast. That's what's being pushed out for you. We need to be the men that change the tide, that shift the tide back from carnality being dominant on over to spirituality being dominant. Actually shifting from Kali Yuga on over to the golden ages. It starts with the men who are truly on this practice and path of self-mastery. And you are not being a true soldier in the battlefield, if you want to call it that, if you're not actually using a creative outlet, a spiritual outlet to infuse this energy towards. You're hoarding up all your fucking creative energy, all your life force energy, all your semen, all your nut, but you're not actually putting it into a way, a form, an outlet, an overall project, if you want to call it that, that benefits humanity as a whole. It's just, oh man, I'm benefiting my own mind and I'm benefiting my own body. Yes, that might help other people on the surface level, but when you create something out of nothing, do you know how much that can actually connect and expand and actually touch people's lives? In our inner circle, in the philosopher's circle, there's people from different parts of the world that I don't even know how to pronounce that are actually getting the value from my creative outlet. And I'm not saying it's mine. I'm just a vessel. There's actually a whole video on the private Patreon community. The first video I dropped on the private Patreon community about becoming a divine vessel for God. You're purifying your body, you're unlocking your mind, and you're awakening the spirit so that the divine energy can flow through you. You become a conduit. You become a cog in the divine matrix rather than the material matrix. You become a part of the whole system that elevates the spirit of man rather than the part of the system that degenerates the spirit of man. And that all comes from being open to your creative outlets while you're practicing semen retention. That's not gonna come from doing 1,000 pull-ups and meditating for 9-10 hours. Sorry. Take the benefits you get from those practices and semen retention and infuse it into the spiritual outlet that you were brought here to pursue. Only you were brought here to do that. Not me, not your dad, not your mom, not your friends, not your family. You, the sovereign entity that you are. Only then will you actually be able to live a life of true fulfillment and actually discover your dharma and attain self-realization through this path of self-mastery. But there it is, man. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains. And I'm out of here. Peace.